Oh. Well, well, all right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Average Joe's. Guess what? Today, we're not going to cook anything. Today, we're not going to fix anything. Today, we're not going to clean anything. We're not going to repair any stuff. We're actually going to look at MRE. So an MRE is a meal ready to eat. That's what our fine servicemen and women get when they're out in the field, where they have delicious choices like potatoes au gratin and what is this one? Beef ravioli. And we got our hands on some British MREs as well. So we're going to kind of taste them, compare them, see if it's good, see if one's better than another. But in general, we're going to have some fun, taste it, and maybe at the end we'll rank some of these. But let's give it a shot. Okay, so typically what you get with an MRE, if you're, I suppose, a soldier in the field, is you get a bag that contains all of this stuff and more stuff, and it's got, you know, basically what you need for a high calorie diet. It's got electrolyte drink mixes. It's usually got 3-course meals. This one here is for a 24-hour, you know, sustainability if you're out in the field. We didn't have any of that for the American MREs, but our local Army Navy store did have a selection of different flavors to try. So we tried to get a couple of dinner items, maybe a breakfast item and some dessert items, and we're going to compare those a little bit and see how they taste. But first things first, the British one came with a delicious side dish of chili peanuts. So we're going to keep that on the side in this little bowl. Whoops. Oh yeah, those look delicious. That's kind of a palate cleanser as we go from meal to meal. Tasty. Tastes just like a peanut. Very lightly flavored. Not a lot of seasoning. Not spicy. I actually like those. All right, let's get into the meals. Okay, so I think as it says, MREs, meals ready to eat. So if you're in the field, sometimes you don't have access to water to heat it up or boil it. The British MREs actually do state that you can eat it cold, or you can let it sit in boiling water for 10 minutes, depending on what I suppose you have access to. Today, we're just going to go cold and cold. You know, go through the, worst case scenario if you had to eat these things in the field. And they're nice because they really are ready to eat. You don't have to add water or anything. You just kind of, it tells you to open up and scoop it right out of the bag. I'm going to put it on a plate so you can kind of see what it looks like. But we're going breakfast first. I'm going maple pork patties from the American line against this breakfast burrito filling on the British side. So we'll start with this guy right here. Okay, so the British breakfast burrito filling: beans, yellow split peas, and red peppers in a spiced tomato sauce. This one actually says open, stir, ready to serve. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and stir that up best I can. Put it on a plate so you guys can see it. There you have it, breakfast burrito filling. Let's give this a try. I mean, the funny thing is when you feel these bags, it feels like a bag of wet goo. But when you open it up, it looks like there's a lot of texture. So, maybe that's all right. That's actually not bad. I mean, if you get past the fact that it's cold, it's got really good flavor. It's not too spicy. It's got some good seasoning in there. It doesn't taste like plastic or cardboard or anything gross like that. It's just got a nice, I don't know if I'd call that breakfast burrito, but definitely beans and corn flavor. A little smoky. Not bad. All right, next up for breakfast, we got the maple pork patty. So we're going to check this out. See what's in there. Ooh. There it is, maple pork patty. The whole thing came out, maybe some au jus. Doesn't smell terrible. Smells mapley. Also not terrible. It's got okay texture. It's not mushy. It's got enough, tooth feel. It's got a little bit of maple, not much. It actually has a little bit of smoky. Again, I'm not really sure where they would get that from. Maybe some smoke flavor added. It's not bad. I mean, if you're camping or you're on the road or whatever and you need something and you're hungry, I would eat that. Maybe even make a sandwich out of it. That would be delicious. So again, not bad. If I had to choose, I mean, I'm getting a little weird flavor off this now. It's kind of, it kind of comes back kind of packaging like plasticky, but that's okay. It's been in this thing for a couple of years probably already, so I get it. That happens. If I had to choose between these two, I would probably go with the breakfast burrito filling, especially if I had access to a tortilla. I think that'd be better. But this isn't bad. Maybe if we heat this up in a pan, it'll be better. We'll have to try that out. Oops. All right, moving into the, I would guess maybe we'll call it lunch, but if your second meal of the day, maybe the French-style lentils with minced pork. It's quite a bit in here. It says 300 grams. That's quite a bit. And on the American side, we've got a little bit of the beef ravioli. So we're going to go ahead and get these going. Look at that. That actually, that looks pretty good, right? That looks like something that you might eat out, you know, might buy in the grocery store and eat as a child or an adult. That looks, you know, pretty normal. Beef ravioli. And then on this side, ooh, I don't know about this one. This one is, I mean, you got to like lentils to begin with. I don't like lentils that well. So we're going to give that a try. Okay, just from an appearance standpoint, you know, I'm down with the ravioli. I'm not a big fan of the lentils. It looks a little rough. But hey, maybe it tastes delicious. Let's give this a try. Not a lot going on there. Not a ton of flavor. Little plasticky tasting. Again, kind of makes sense because it's been in a container for a while. A little bit of metallic in that sauce. Maybe it'd be better if it were heated up, but again, we're just going to go cold for cold. But that one's not that good, I would say. Of the ones we've tried so far, probably not that one. All right, let's get some of these lentils with pork. I don't actually see any pork in there. Maybe there are little tiny chopped bits in there. Let's give that a try. This is, I feel like this, again, the British dish has a little bit more seasoning in it, and maybe that's, you know, maybe they just have a more refined palate. I don't know what that is, but this actually has more flavor. Again, I would actually choose this over the more appetizing looking beef ravioli. So lentils with minced pork for the win on this round. Even though it looks terrible, tastes a little bit better. All right, so I guess this would be dinner. So here's the thing, we're running out of our British entrees. We've got some desserts that we'll look at, and I've got a couple more American ones. So we're gonna go ahead and do the rajma masala against the cheese tortellini. So rajma masala, if you're not familiar, it looks like it's got some kidney beans, onions, tomato paste, tomatoes. It's pretty clean label and some seasoning. It's actually surprisingly very clean label on all of these, which is good, you know? And then the tortellini. So we'll see how these things stack up. Let's see what this rajma masala looks like. Doesn't look bad. And let's see what the cheese, tortellini looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like you're running the mill tortellini. Let's give this a try. Let's go. Tortellini first. Pretty bland, not a lot of flavor, not a lot of seasoning, which I think again makes sense for what the purpose is. Probably just to get, you know, a lot of calories without being overpowering or offensive. Not bad. The texture is good. Again, when you feel the outside of that bag, it feels squishy, but these tortellini have plenty of, you know, texture to them. They're pretty firm. Not bad. Not getting any weird plasticky off flavors. Let's try this rajma masala real quick. See how it goes. That's good. That's good because it's got those. It's got a lot of flavor, right? If you like Indian food, that's pretty tasty. I can see where if you don't like Indian food, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to touch that. But it actually is seasoned very well and tastes really good. So again, I think this is 3 out of 3. But I think the British meal has it. This is pretty good. I would eat this. I would choose to eat this if I were camping or didn't have access to other food. I would definitely choose this over the tortellini. Raja masala for the win. All right, so we used up all of our entrees from the British side, and it went 3 for 3. So we got a couple more entrees from the American kit. We got macaroni and tomato sauce and side potatoes au gratin. So we're gonna try these and see if there's any redeeming qualities here. I don't have super high hopes, but let's give it a try. Okay, first thing, macaroni and tomato. Oh yeah. See, what's amazing, again, when you feel these MREs, they're really mushy. It's like a bag of mush. But look at that. The noodles have texture. It kind of looks like, SpaghettiOs or something like that you get out of a can. Let's see if they put some flavor in this one. I'm guessing probably not. Not bad. They put more seasoning in there. You can actually taste where they put some more basil, oregano, those kinds of seasoning in there, a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper. Not bad. There's no weird off flavors yet. Sometimes those come up a little bit later. The noodles have texture. So of the American meals, I would say that this one is probably the best we've tried so far. So the noodles macaroni and tomato sauce, pretty good. Tastes a lot like a Chef Boyardee or with a hint of more seasoning, like a tomato sauce almost. Okay, one last entree before we jump into the fun part, which is the desserts. This one's the potatoes au gratin, which I don't know. Do you eat it by itself? Do you eat it as a side dish with like the ravioli or the macaroni? I'm guessing it's a ooh. I don't know if there's any potatoes in there. There they are. There. Okay. In Utah, we call those funeral potatoes. This is going to be fun. All right. That's a big bite. Mmm. Oh. 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 That's terrible. I don't know what they were going for. You know, you think about potatoes au gratin, some cheesy potatoes. The only thing that makes sense about this is the texture of the potato. It's not bad. It actually has a nice firm mouthfeel. It's not bad. Everything else is no good. I don't get any fake cheese. I don't get any real cheese. I don't get any seasoning. I don't know what I got. I couldn't keep it in my mouth long enough to figure out what I was tasting. I just knew that it wasn't right. I hope it's not like botulism or something like that, because that would suck. But yeah, no good on the potatoes au gratin. So from a meal standpoint, you know, I think the top 3 were probably the British ones we had to taste. And the American ones were so with that last one, the macaroni and tomato sauce being the best, but still not great. So I mean, if you have a choice and you're out there in the field, if you can swap meals with the British, you know, and the American, you're probably going to be in favor of. If you get the British meal, you're going to feel better about things. Whatever you do, don't get the potatoes au gratin. It's gross. So let's try some desserts. Okay, so I don't know, dessert, breakfast, whatever's left here. We've got one item from the American MRE, and it's a cinnamon bun. The lady at the checkout at our local Army Navy store said these things are supposed to be really good. So maybe she's onto something. She hadn't tried it. She said the truckers typically say that it's a tasty. Look at that. That's kind of fun. Huh. Smells good. We'll see. And then from the British 24-hour kit, we've got a chocolate cake. Ooh, this one comes in a tray. Wow. And this one I think is more of a breakfast item. This is a, they call it a fruit flapjack. Over there. Ooh. And then the coconut biscuit bite. Those look delicious too. All right, there we have it. Let's give it a shot. So cinnamon roll. I'm just gonna pick it up because that's kind of tough. I think it's like kind of like a big Newton where they put the filling in the middle. Okay, so I mean that's not too bad. It's got the again the cinnamon material in the middle. The bread is not super dry. It's still moist somehow, which is great. Or moist. It gives the appearance of moistness. It's not bad. Lacking overall flavor, as we've seen so far. Not a ton of flavor, and that's probably okay. So next, chocolate cake. Again, I'm just gonna pick that up. Mmm. I don't know what's going on. That's a good chocolate cake. I mean, I'd probably eat that if I had choices. I would choose that. That's a good chocolate cake, good chocolate flavor. Pretty moist. It looks light. It's not bad. Again, that's pretty tasty. All right, so on to the fruit flapjack. I'm not really sure. I mean, in America, flapjack, we think of pancakes. This is more like I don't know, I guess a granola bar? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm. I'm gonna keep from spitting that out, but it wasn't good. It's a weird flavor, kind of like I don't know. It's not. I don't like it. It doesn't have a lot of other. It just tastes kind of cardboardish a little bit, and not a lot of other flavors. So, yeah, I think that's maybe like a fruit cake, but not like a fruit cake. It's not moist. It's crumbly, but not really. The fruit in it's not very good. So pass on that one. And the last one we've got is the coconut biscuit bite. Not bad. I think a biscuit in American terms is basically like a cookie. You're supposed to enjoy that with your delicious afternoon tea, which that I think would go really well with, and which the bag itself includes. You can have tea. It comes with tea if you've got access to hot water. So good. These biscuits aren't bad. Of these, I think the chocolate cake wins. This was pretty bad. This was okay, and these are really good too. So I mean, a couple of winners. It just so happens they come from the British MRE kit. We got some work to do on the American side of things, apparently. So, all right, so there it is. We got to try some different entrees, breakfast, lunch, a little bit of dinner. I have to say that I actually like what the British MREs have to offer. They're a little bit tastier, I think, from a seasoning and flavor standpoint, which is great. Sorry about that, American troops. This was a lot of fun, and just a special thank you and shout out to all our service men and women who have sacrificed so much for us. We appreciate you. So cheers. And remember, sometimes when you're hungry, average is good enough.